Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new season of the Geeks Forever podcast. I am the host. I am your guide, your to this journey that we call bullshit. That is the cosplay community in Texas, the anime community, the comiccon community. I am King Mexico, also known as Captain Mexico. Joining me as always is the man with the plan, the host of the most, Jace.
Woo.
Also joining me is the next big thing, the Texas gaming hedgehog himself, the man that runs the skinny, Keyblade Sonic.
Hello, everybody.
Wait, were you always at an angle? You look.
The camera.
I was like, wait. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, don't worry.
Who are these fucking people that I'm following? Oh, okay, that makes sense though. Anyways, it is the. It's been a while. Our last podcast was the review about ecchiexpo. We went on hiatus like we always do for the holidays, and now it is the first podcast for the brand new year.
That's right.
Woo.
Yeah, we have a lot to cover today. So a couple things. We're just the show's still getting started, still running slow. So we'll make our announcement a little bit later about the future of Geeks Forever and the podcast itself. With that being said, though, there's a couple things that we want to get out of the way. Do we have a skinny? What's going on?
Well, what is going on? What's going on with the world? Well, a lot is going on, I will say. Let me look up my notes here.
Riveting.
A lot.
It's like, I didn't study for this test.
It is kind of so like the skinny is pretty much is a little small right now, but luckily we have a lot to cover in regards to basically what's going to happen to skinny is basically what we're going to talk about, our main topics. As you can see in the title, we are going to be talking about Velma that unfortunately did come out.
Unfortunately, it is a thing.
Yeah, unfortunately. And kind of a lot of people are kind of like, it released already on HBO Max. Not just Velma, also The Last of Us TV adaptation just came out a few weeks ago on The Last of Us. I've seen a lot of people saying it is easily one of the best adaptations of a game in terms of TV series and movies. I've seen the first two episodes. I think they're already released. I'm liking it. I didn't play The Last of Us. I barely know anything about what's going on. And that's pretty much a bit of the skinny, because keep in mind a lot has happened, and basically what I had for the skinny a few weeks ago, it's already outdated as it is now.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of something to share. I guess it's a subject that we're going to talk about, but for those of you that don't know, there are two brand new conventions. One of them we were invited to come check out. It's called is it called BaCon or BaconCon? I'm not exactly sure.
BaCon. It's how do you spell it? Is it BaCon?
It's BA.
BaCon. Yeah, just say BaCon. Just make it
easier. BaCon.
BaCon.
That is the same weekend as Delta HCon.
Yeah, so I think that's Goku. I think it's a safe bet that we're seeing a noticeable trend here. All these cons happening in the same weekend.
Yeah. Just to I wanted to give a quick shout out to the people that run Ikkicon. Thank you for everything, guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but Ikkicon was one of the few 18 plus conventions in Texas before ecchiexpo, before Ecchi Festival, Ecchi
Fiesta. Yeah, another
Ecchi
con.
Bathroom. I don't know.
Waifu Expo. That's happening in Dallas.
All these fucking like cons. They were going to do a one-day event this year, but I think they've canceled it and have announced that they are no longer going to be hosting anime conventions from this point forward. So they're closing their doors, and that is it. That is all she wrote for Ikkicon. So I'm very sad to hear that. It is kind of, the writing was on the wall. They're one of the conventions that had to cancel because of the pandemic, and they just could not recover, and it is what it is. So that sucks. for you wrestling fans out there, our prayers and our
Thoughts and
thoughts
prayers
and
goes
prayers go
out
out to the
to
family of Jay Briscoe, who died.
Ooh.
The way he what happened, we're not going to talk about that. It's pretty graphic. It's pretty
yeah.
traumatic. So
All we can say is he was well liked. He was pretty much well known. He wrestled a lot of places. Ring of Honor, obviously that was a big one. New Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah. And all we can say is, rest in peace to Jay Briscoe. We'd like to talk about it more, but obviously, like Goku said, given the circumstances, it was had some graphic details. But I can say our thoughts and prayers are with his family right now. His family's dealing with a lot at this moment. And like I said, rest in peace to Jay Briscoe.
yeah, but we can talk about the WB, the Warner Brothers bullshit with going on with that. Because we are talking about Velma today. We are going to talk about Velma. As a matter of fact, we might kick off the show with Velma. So for those of you that don't know or have been living under a rock, there was a brand new Scooby-Doo adaptation called Velma that came out.
Scooby Doo. let's be real here. Scooby Doo.
Scooby-Doo, like
Okay,
I can't.
so let's explain the context here. So this is a new series. It stars obviously Velma. It is played by Mindy Kaling. You don't know who this? She was famous obviously for The Office, The Mindy Project, and so many other projects. So she's actually producing this show. And a lot of people already given it flack, but rightfully so from the get go. And the show has already been out. How many episodes? Like 2, 3 episodes already?
I think this is the 4th episode.
4 episodes already, and it's not. It's exactly as you expected. It was not going to be. Honestly, I haven't seen it. I've only seen clips of it. I can already tell you, wow, if I sat through this, I would not want to. I would just turn off the TV, and just cancel my subscription. I'm like, yep, you know what? I'm not watching this.
Wait, has Jace have you seen it?
I watched the pilot. I didn't watch the episodes because before it came out, I rarely watch anything that's out immediately. And since there's tons and tons of bad ratings, like I'm not wasting my time.
I know I'm gonna catch hell for this shit. I have not seen the show.
Okay.
Yeah, we have. Like I said, I've only seen clips of it, and I think the one issue I had with it is okay. As soon as there's no Scooby Doo, that's an instant red flag for me. How do you
See, I
tell
didn't
yourself-
know there was gonna be no. So when I first
Give
so
us
I
the
heard about
dog.
the race swap. Honestly, I'm gonna be. So when I first saw it, I didn't know. Like, I knew they race swapped Velma
and Shaggy
and Shaggy.
or Norville?
No, well, I never knew his real name was Norville, but I could not tell. Maybe because I'm a jackass. I don't know what the fuck. I could not tell they race swapped Daphne.
They did.
They race swapped her. She's like half Asian now.
Oh.
And she's played by Constance Wu. So I think too.
I don't even know what she sounds like. I don't know what any of them except for Velma and Norville sound like. And I did not watch the show. I've watched countless clips and YouTube reviews. Like they review, like I've watched some where they review the episode, like they break down the entire episode. So I didn't want to be one of the people that contributed to HBO Max's like everyone's hate watching the fucking show, which is sending the wrong message to
Morbius.
HBO Max. What?
Morbius. Everyone just kind of
Morbius?
watched it because it's bad.
Well, nobody watched Morbius though. There's a difference. They trolled Sony like, oh, we missed the first time around. Bring it back. So I was like, okay,
We'll watch it the
you
second time.
guys, you and your shenanigans. We'll put it back for you. And then nobody watched it. Nobody even hate watched it. It was like, I don't.
That's why I'd say if you're not sure about watching the show, watch the reviews for it. That way you don't give them any of that little viewing credit for it. You just watch someone who's watching it.
I feel like this wasn't even. I feel like this was just. It tended to be like an original idea, and then they're like, "Hey, it sounds like Scooby Doo, so let's make it a Scooby Doo thing."
I don't even think that. Like,
The pilot was designed from Velma's perspective, making Velma the main character and doing it that way. So it was essentially what it became for the series. They just didn't realize everything they changed until they got greenlit, because the pilot had success. They thought it was really cool, and it was getting a lot of heat, mostly because the race swap. Which, if you race swap something and you get heat for it, then no one really gives a shit. That means you're wrong, typically. So you can go ahead and air it.
I mean, the trailer looked promising.
But Scooby Doo, like the dog, probably has some type of trademark on it, so where you can't use it.
No, that they said why they didn't use Scooby Doo. Because it was too. They said here's the thing. So I was wondering about that. So
it's supposed to be a realistic cartoon mystery show.
They wanted it to be realistic, and so the talking dog was too much. And like the talking dog is where we draw the line. But these are like 15-year-olds who are in like juniors or sophomores in high school. And they have like an entire scene where they're all just naked in the shower. That's okay. That's fine. No,
double standard.
We can have them naked in the show, but the talking dog is too much. Too much controversy, folks.
Yeah, I think we're noticing a trend here. A lot of Warner Brothers Discoveries, like decisions they're making in regards to this stuff. It's like, they're like, okay, we can't do this, but this is okay. You know what I mean?
I know they like this, but what if we did the opposite?
I feel like, you know what though? Everyone's talking about like, oh wait, maybe WB's doing this to like, hey, if we make a bad Scooby-Doo show, maybe the next one we do, people are just gonna absolutely love it. I think people are overthinking this. I think everyone
you can just make bad stuff.
I don't think HBO Max is like they signed a contract. What's her name? What's her fucking name? Velma, the girl that's writing the show. Mindy
Kaling.
Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
I think she fucking suckered them. She fucking tricked them, and she just like she gets a lot of shit because she writes a lot of bad shit. Like honestly, I haven't really watched The Office, and the few episodes that I have watched, I've never seen her in the episodes. Like the few episodes that I have seen, and then again, I haven't never watched the full episode of The Office. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of The Office. The only thing I've ever fucking seen her in was the 40-Year-Old Virgin. And she was in there for like 5 minutes.
I forgot she was in that movie.
And that's it. That's the only fucking thing I recognize her from. I didn't even know she was a fucking comedian. She wasn't funny. I didn't like her. I didn't find her attractive. And like obviously she's a shitty writer because this isn't the only fucking show where she's written that's bullshit. She writes like Velma. I'm like, why? Who the fuck is this show for? Like the 7 fucking people that like this shit. Because if you go on like what is it, Rotten Tomatoes, they have a 7% rating.
Yeah, and actually,
isn't it the lowest rating show now?
I think on IMDb, it's like the lowest rated, like in general, even surpassed Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yes, a new king has been crowned.
Yeah, like they're over there, Dragon Ball Evolution is like, I'm the worst thing ever. And then they come in like the fucking principal from Simpsons, like pathetic.
The Stone Cold music drops and Velma comes out.
Hold my Scooby snacks.
Hold my Scooby snacks.
You know, if anything, if you want,
bad.
I will say this: if you want to watch some like an alternative to Velma, watch Mike Tyson Mysteries. I'll say that.
Like Mike Tyson Mysteries is a better Scooby Doo than Velma.
It says a lot.
Like, and everyone says that they're trying to capture the magic that was Rick and Morty like a few years ago. Because let's just face it, Rick and Morty isn't as popular anymore as it was years ago when it was brand new.
Yeah, I think it got like it kind of. I like Rick and Morty. I know right now it's a weird situation to talk about Rick and Morty, considering the co-creator of it is like in a lot of legal trouble. In case you don't know, Justin Roiland, who's one of the co-creators of Rick and Morty, voices Rick, Morty, and several other characters, he recently got like charged with like sexual assault or like assault on domestic abuse or something like
What
that. And
the fuck is wrong with these guys? You know what? You know what? Never mind. I'm falling. I'm being one of those people who are like, oh, you're guilty till proven. You're guilty till proven innocent, and even then, you're still guilty because you know what? Your name got brought up. I don't want to be one of those people. So you know what? He's whatever. I don't want to.
He's rich and disappointed.
Rich. And that's another thing. Is it me? Like, I know we make jokes about Jace being white and like privilege and shit, but this fucking show goes way too far. Like, it is actual hate towards white people.
what, Velma?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of noticeable clips about that. There's like a scene where it's like something involving Fred or something like that.
Yeah, that he has like a. So you find out, and I don't care. Fucking, who cares if it's spoilers? At this point, you shouldn't be.
We don't want you to
the
watch.
bullshit
We don't want
anyway.
you to watch it anyway.
So they always make jokes about Fred having a small ding dong, a small hot dog. Turns out he hasn't hit puberty yet. And he doesn't hit puberty until the very moment that he finds Velma attractive.
It's
It
This show
doesn't
just
make
sucks.
any fucking sense. Dude, I'm looking at the fucking comments. And people are talking about like the internet hasn't been this like no, it has brought two political communities together in unison. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or whatever, conservative or liberal. Everyone hates this fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Velma is, I don't know, dude. Like, and who does it cater? Who's it catering to?
It's catering to Mindy.
Exactly.
Her
Like,
and like her 4 friends.
all she does is hate on white guys, and all she dates is white guys. I'm not bashing her for her like preferences and fucking people that she wants to like date, but like Jesus, can we like chill with the?
And it's kind of interesting how people on Twitter, there was one person tweeting, is like, you know, where were you guys? Now everyone's talking about, like, so where were you Scooby Doo fans this past, like, before this week? I'm like, dude, you don't have to like talk about Scooby Doo every week to be a fan, you know?
You
No
typically
bullshit.
talk
We've been
about
asking
something
for
when
a
it
good
comes out.
Scooby Doo show for years, not the
We had it. It was Mystery Inc.
Incorporated where they're running bukages on fucking or whatever the fuck it's called on Fred.
They had a good series. It was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was really good.
Professor Pericles bird. That was a good one.
Yeah, the darkened Scooby Doo that actually was really good.
Yeah.
It's to the point now that ever since Velma came out, people are actually apologizing to like the other crappy
We're
Scooby
sorry.
Doo shows.
Oh,
We're
remember
sorry,
it was,
be cool Scooby Doo.
was it 3 years ago when they announced they're making a new Scooby Doo series and it had like really shitty animation style? They
Cool
dumbed down the
Scooby-Doo.
character design. Yeah.
Yeah, be cool Scooby Doo.
Like, oh, we're
people
sorry.
are apologizing to it.
We didn't know what the future held.
It's like that Thanos scene from Endgame. Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Yeah.
It's basically
No,
that.
I feel that way. I feel like, oh man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry, bro.
We're sorry. I don't mind race swap, but Shaggy's supposed to have shaggy hair because that's why they call him Shaggy. There's no Scooby Doo.
This is before Shaggy was a big druggy person, though.
Right, but
Maybe
Shaggy so according to like I don't know, it depends on what interpretation of Scooby Doo you
I
want
mean,
to go with.
there's even a scene in Velma where he's like, there's a clip that everyone's talking about, like that one scene where it's like,
Says he
okay,
doesn't do drugs.
Norville says, do you even know what 420 means? And Velma's like, that's code for people who adults who watch cartoons or some shit like that. And I was like, that shit is not even funny. I'm like, bro, what is this? And there's another one where it's like, he's in the car and he's talking about like he was talking about drugs. He's like, well, it has to be something to do with drugs, which I don't take. And it's like an awkward silence, just nothing. He just like stares like
Oh
deadpan
yeah,
at his
that
camera.
scene. But he says, which I hate.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, like I don't know what was that trying to imply, but okay.
I guess because the consensus is that
Shaggy's
everyone assumed that Shaggy was always on drugs,
yeah.
So
and
just
they don't
immediately
want.
do a flat statement in the show saying Shaggy doesn't do drugs. Just leave it at that, which is dumb. Had no delivery. It wasn't comedy. It was just a statement.
The whole
And
show
staring at the camera.
sucks. There's nothing redeeming about the goddamn show. Like, even what's her face, Mindy Kaling, has come out when they badmouth her show. She like instead of like she defended it by lashing back out at the fans. Like she was like, "Well, deal with it." Like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
show isn't meant for you. It's meant
So
the people that it's meant for will watch it."
yeah, and
7 people.
so to the message for on that part, I guess Mindy, how about you ask G4 how that worked out for you? How that worked out for them? Because
Oh my fucking god!
how did that work out for G4? The last
Did you watch like
Pretty
the
sure that was their
interview?
exact statement.
They interview one of the people on G4 when
yeah.
they got the
So
job. Like
yeah,
the interview question was,
would you how if there was a superhero you like to who would you who would you cancel? And they'd be like, it's like okay, say you want to cancel Batman. It's like why would I cancel Batman? Because he's white.
and Rich,
Yeah, imagine that was one of the questions. Go like an audition, a screening process to
which
host
was
G4,
one of the questions.
which actually was.
Like, why do you think we should cancel Batman? Why no? Why would you cancel Batman as a superhero? Like, why?
Okay, so before we go, because I don't
He
want before
beats
we
up
before
people.
we before we continue with that, let me put some context because I don't want people taking this out of context and knowing what the hell we're talking about. So G4, when G4 was launching last year, there was recently a podcast, the Spawncast, which was one of the hosts comes out and actually one of the guests came out and said, sorry, I'm having lost train of thought and distracted. So they had a screening process to audition to get into G4. And this was actually one of the questions that she was told. Is like, okay, if this is one of the questions about canceling that, which superhero would you cancel? So there you go. Just a little bit of context there before we get any ideas, you know?
I didn't even know. I forgot G4 came back. I'm gonna be honest with you. I completely forgot.
It's got a YouTube channel and it gets a whopping like 800 views.
No, it's dead now.
Yeah, it's dead now. It's just like
Okay.
I think I know it's kind of a little outdated now that we're talking about G4, but keep in mind it's been a while since we've done one of these shows. G4 came out during a time when there was no YouTube. But nowadays people can produce content equal to, if not better, than what G4 was producing now with just something as smart as a smartphone and like lighting. You know what I mean? And sure, a lot of things happened to it, and it was a really shitty situation. How some of the hosts actually found out that they lost their jobs through a tweet from not from G4 but from a news reports like, hey, in fact, if a memo was sent, and then one of the hosts, which was the completionist, he tweeted, wow, this is how I found out I lost my job today. Great. And it's just it was a shitty way, it's a shame for G4. And, like we said, it was just a quick nostalgia shot, and that was it.
It sucked so much. It was trash. I watched like clips of it, and it was just not good. And it's like, who the fuck? Like, people. I don't know. Maybe there's just. I don't know. I don't like talking. Like now, whenever I talk, I like try to be more careful now, and because like people take opinions the wrong fucking way. Oh, big fucking surprise, right?
Hmm.
But who the fuck do they make these shows for? There's one thing being progressive and accepting and being open minded, and then there's like the whole woke thing, and I fucking hate that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
You can
just
be like, honestly, guys, like, do yourselves a favor. Don't hate watch Velma. Don't fucking bother. There's plenty of YouTube videos where you can watch like clips and shit, and you can make it just like most people didn't even make it past. Most people that made it past the first episode didn't make it past the second episode. And like, if we keep watching this fucking show, WB is gonna think that, oh, they like it, they want it, and they're gonna green light a fucking second season, which
they're already working on, unfortunately.
Season 2.
I don't. They're when I think they're discussing it. They haven't like started working, like actually like making it. But don't give them a reason to think like, oh, they want it, give it to them, give it to them.
Yeah, just the best way I can describe this is just do what James Rolfe did, aka the AVGN, when the 2016 Ghostbusters came out. He not only said he didn't want to review it, he refused to watch it.
And if you're gonna make a parody of the Angry Video Game Nerd on your channel to review Velma, please don't say stupid shit like asinine. I know that's the actual proper term, but you look like a jackass when you say, oh, this is asinine. I'm like, really, guy? Just fucking cuss for once in your life. Sorry, taking shots at somebody.
I was like, it's a direction there.
Please, like, if you're not gonna cuss, don't do it.
Just don't do it, AVGN.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do. How about instead of parodying AVGN, how about we parody my foot kicking your ass? How about that, guy?
And speaking of that, did y'all check did y'all see like anything about the new That's 90s show on Netflix?
Oh, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Because it made me realize how shitty the 90s really was. Like, everybody talks about how great the 90s was not that great.
Like, are you sure it wasn't that great? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because one, we were little kids.
Yeah, we didn't have bills to pay. We didn't have like jobs. We were just at home watching.
It was Super Nintendo and Game Boy. Like, they're teenagers. I wasn't a teenager until the 2000s. So
yeah,
like the 90s was okay. Like the 90s was okay because we had some of our most iconic TV shows during the 90s. But if you go back and you look at the 90s, tacky Taco Bell, tacky clothes,
McDonald's,
Junko jeans.
Junko jeans, exactly.
If you were LGBTQ, you could not come out of the closet because people would like ridicule you.
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. That's how it is. And then, but the show itself is actually really good. I actually like it, and I do like the cameos from like obviously the, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis.
The 2-minute cameo by Ashton Kutcher and right Jackie and Kelso, pretty much.
Jackie and Kelso.
I don't get it because it's 15 years after that 70s show.
Yeah, so it takes place in like what, 95?
So that means as soon as Eric got back from Africa, he hopped on Donna and knocked her up.
Sounds about right.
And like Jackie and Fez's relationship didn't last at all because their kid is about the same age, if not older. So for those of you that don't know, and this is just us bringing it up. Spoiler alert! It's 90. No, they say 95. They said 95.
Yeah, I think it was 95, 96. There you go. This is before the N64. I will say though,
it says it right here. Oh yeah, it's July 4th, 1995, the summer of 1995.
I will say though, for a show that like I will say I like that they kind of replicate like the 90s stuff and all that stuff and all that. But a lot of people like online were like noticing like a lot of mistakes like in the background or something like that. So for example, there's a scene in the video store, they have like those copies of Jurassic Park in the background. Apparently, one of the copies is actually a special edition from like 97 or 98.
That's not out yet.
So there's a lot
Oh
of like
my god,
mistakes
you
like
could
that.
barely see those damn VHSs. And somebody went in there, analyzed the damn footage with a magnifying
And
glass.
hence,
It's like saying they put like a GameCube game in 90s. Imagine like that would have been noticeably funny.
I would have.
what happened? I told you to go get a prop. I was like, well, yeah, I got the Nintendo GameCube. That's from then. It's like, no, you idiot.
No, you idiot. We need a Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64.
I wonder.
I want to see an episode where the kids are playing with Pokemon cards and they've got like number 400 from the Pokemon, like
Black and
95.
I
Like,
wonder, like 20 years from now, because this took like 20 years.
Yeah.
I wonder if 20 years from now, will we get a like
That 2010s show.
like 2010s? Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of mistakes. We may spot a lot of
it's a show you could always keep doing, technically.
I mean,
every
That,
decade
you
or so,
gotta be
you
careful
just
though,
make
because
another
that
one.
80s show sucked.
Yeah.
It was. There's a lot of shit shows. People don't realize this, but there are a lot of shows that just flat out
suck.
are garbage. Like Velma.
What?
And there are some good shows that are great, and then only last a season. Like one
No
show that
Game,
no
No
one's
Life.
ever heard of that was amazing was Terra Nova.
I watched that. That was more. No, it was only one season.
It was only one, and it ended on a fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
That
you
was a
hate
good
that?
That was a good series.
That was a great series. It was.
It had the
but
dude from
budget was too
Avatar on
high.
there.
Oh yeah, Sam Worthington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's too much CG in that show for it to last.
It was-
That was the issue.
They're in the future, and like there's a law saying that you can only have 2 kids, so the family has 3 kids, and they have to hide one of the fucking kids in the air vent whenever they get an inspection. And so the planet's fucked in the future. Like it's practically
there's
unlivable.
no-
So
They have no resources anymore.
what is it? They travel. It's a parallel.
It's a parallel world.
Earth that's in the past. So it's not the same universe. So it's kind of weird. They're traveling back in time, but to an Earth in a different universe.
It's like things
That's
Trunks time travel. It's going back in time to your Earth, but in a different timeline.
Right, but
in
it's
your
still
timeline.
not our universe. Like at least in the Trunks, it was still part of the same.
Well, it was the same universe. It's your world existing on like an alternate timeline.
I thought they said it was a
world.
different universe.
That's what they said. But the way
And
they
then
described
way
it, with
it
the way they
ended-
described it, it's the exact same as if it was your world without your before you guys interacted with anything. And then there was
Right.
that boat at the very end.
At the very end, which
We
was,
could spoil it because
it's gone. It's not coming
it's
back.
10 years
And
old, dude.
I don't even think you can watch it. I watched it on Netflix, and
It's
I
a
was like, man, why did
15-year-old
they-
series.
How can you watch the show? Where can you watch it? You know, have
Was
to
that,
pirate.
was that an ABC? So it maybe Peacock,
Or Hulu.
Disney. It won't be on Disney Plus.
You got me curious now.
Where can I watch Terra Nova?
To watch.
Probably on that Tubi thing that Fox always produces.
Hulu.
Of course,
Hulu?
Hulu.
Wait, no, it doesn't say.
Fuck Hulu. I mean, sponsor us, Hulu. Ooh.
Wait, is it on Disney Plus?
If it was on ABC, it should be on a Disney one.
Yeah.
I
No, it was
think
on. It
it's
was.
on-
If they have it.
It was on Fox. I remember the show was on Fox.
Was it on Fox?
It was on
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah, it was on Fox.
So Peacock. No, Peacock is NBC.
Actually, it is on Disney Plus. I'm looking it up on Disney Plus. So yeah, hold on, let me check just to be safe because sometimes you can
So
get.
it takes place in the year 2149.
Oh, never mind. It's not on Disney Plus.
So in 120-ish years.
Okay, yeah, it says centers of the Shannons, an ordinary family from 2149. When the planet is dying, who are transported back 85 million years to prehistoric Earth, where they join Terra Nova, a colony of humans with a second chance to build a civilization. So
And
they
they did-
Jurassic Park it without Jurassic Park.
They did test when they showed the part where they did a test where they put something in that past and it never showed up in the present. So they know that it exists on a different timeline.
It exists outside of the timeline, right?
outside of their timeline, but it is the same Earth, but a different timeline.
So
it's,
wouldn't that make
it's
it?
Trunks time travel.
Wouldn't it make it an alternate universe then? Because if that was the case,
That's why I say it's like Trunks. It's Trunks.
it's like the
timeline.
Trunks thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. It's the same world but different. You can't affect your own future with it.
Because the past that you go to becomes the future.
If it were on the same
Marvel did that
timeline,
shit. Even Marvel did that same shit. So
Altered Carbon.
I haven't
on
seen
Netflix.
that one, but I heard it was good.
I've heard about it.
Like that's a good example of like I'm gonna be absolutely pissed if Velma gets a season 2, but Terra Nova didn't even get a second season.
Well, we know Terra Nova is not getting a second season.
Yeah, it's been like what 12 years.
It's been 12 years. Pissed. I'm still pissed. Fucking great show.
Velma could get that second season greenlit, and they could still cancel it. Netflix does that all the time.
What the hell? Why does it have a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb? Fuck them. Well, they're not always right. Whatever. I liked it. Whatever. Oh,
it was a good show.
Tomatoes. Apparently, a lot of people didn't like it. It got a 62.
Probably now.
Yeah, now. I mean, now it probably doesn't make any sense, but like back then, it was like really good.
Well, the concept was good.
Steven Spielberg was an executive producer for the show.
Alan England could be an executive producer.
Is it me or is everything that man touched now crap?
Yes.
I mean, maybe. I mean, depending on what you're in, like what like project you recently worked on that you consider to be bad or anything like that.
Speaking of which, Animaniacs is coming to an end.
Yeah.
That's something we should have brought up in the skinny. Animaniacs is ending. They announced their final season.
Did they get 3?
I think Sonic told me because they're losing the license.
Yeah, it's a license thing. So it's because Hulu apparently, I believe Hulu is losing some show. A lot of shows have been noticeably disappearing from the service. Among them is Tiny Toon Adventures and the original Animaniacs. So that's why Animaniacs is unfortunately getting the axe. In fact, actually, I think season 2. I heard in an interview that season 2, the end of it was actually written as like the series finale. In case it's similar to Futurama, you know how they always make like a series
Just
finale.
in case.
Yeah, exactly like that. So unfortunately, that is the end of season 3 of Animaniacs. And speaking of Tiny Toons, Tiny Toons University will be coming out this year on HBO Max and Cartoon Network. So I could see, pending legal reasons, I could see Animaniacs coming back on HBO Max if they wanted to. I don't know if they.
I don't know, dude. People were talking shit about Animaniacs too, including the creator himself, Tom Ruger.
Yeah.
What?
He was on our show talking shit about it.
What kind of show would be brave enough to put him on there to give his honest opinions and encourage him?
Yeah, we kind of like enticed him, like, "Hey, what you think? What you think? What you think?" It's shit.
It's like I watched the first episode because I didn't want to pay for it. It was basically it, and then he's like, I didn't watch it anymore.
Same. I watched the first episode because I wasn't going to pay for it either.
I saw.
But then again, I wasn't here for the interview. Like when y'all did that interview, it was y'all and SJ and him, and I wasn't here because I had COVID, and that was like I was still like.
But that was that was fun. He was really cool. Had a lot of insight. I will say, massive shout out to Tom Ruger. Thank you for that once again. Yeah. So anyway, we have our little con reviews, don't we, guys?
Yep. Before we do that, because I was gonna get ready to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just to let everybody know that this is the year that a lot of things are coming to an end. Cobra Kai has announced the final season for this year.
Oh Lord,
Stranger Things, obviously, it's ending this year. Paradise PD on Netflix ended. It's a fucking weird ass show.
Stranger
Hopefully,
Things
Big
season.
Mouth will end.
Probably not.
God so sick of Big Mouth. And I keep watching it too. I don't know why.
Well, there you go.
Fucking
That's
show
the
is
reason.
weird.
There you
Why
go.
won't they end it? I'll just keep watching though.
How many seasons? Like 8 seasons, right?
It's somewhere around there.
That's crazy.
You know what's dumb about that show is that their ugly ass art style is completely by choice.
Yeah.
Because the company that does that Titmouse,
yeah.
they also did the Legends of Vox Machina show
Mhm.
on Amazon, and they look completely different.
Well,
And they
that's
also-
what What's His Face wants. The creator, it's his show. It's like
This
literally
ugly ass.
And also they worked on the new Beavis and Butthead that was on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. So
Um,
the art design is entirely the show creator.
and also
That looks so ugly.
in regards to Big Mouth, you were bringing it up, Goku. Also, not forget that show Inside Job. Everyone talks about how great it is on Netflix. Unfortunately, that got the axe, even though it got renewed for season 2, and then for Netflix to go, yeah, never mind.
Didn't they cancel every animated show on HBO Max?
Probably not, because
It was
Harley
doing
Quinn's still
Cartoon
going.
Network was, I think Cartoon Network was one that did that. They had a bunch of projects in the works, and since Warner Brothers owns them, they just
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then,
but they canceled Young Justice, which was
that was years ago. Yeah, unfortunately.
well, they brought it back, and
And they brought it
went, "Oh, we're
back,
gonna
and now
cancel
it's now it's canceled again. But then like it was to the point where Cartoon Network had to come out and said, "No, we're not dying, guys. We're still here." And like people thought Cartoon Network was dying, and I was like, "No, dude, they're not dying. Relax."
They're gonna go back to live action shit. Watch, I
Ew.
guarantee you, Cartoon Network's gonna go back to. Remember when Cartoon Network was mostly live action shows?
Yeah, dude, Destroy, Build,
They're gonna go
Destroy.
back to that.
Dude, what would happen?
Dude, what would happen? Fucking
Stupid
what's that
fucking
show? It was like
How
something
to,
about like
how,
a
to, how to tell the world you're smoking pot without telling everybody you're smoking pot, dude? What would happen?
yeah, basically. Also, that one show they did, it was like survive. It was like basically they put kids in the fucking forest or shit.
Turns out kids just whine all the time.
Yeah, so Naked and Afraid, but for kids. That's basically.
You can't
What
make them
the
naked
fuck?
though. That gets you in
Can't make
trouble.
them naked, but
I got a good idea.
What is up
Naked
with all
and
these
afraid,
damn
but
executives?
10-year-olds.
People that are underage to be naked. What the fuck is going on? Anyways, I want to get off that subject before the cops kick down my door.
Con review.
All right, con review. So we're talking about. There were 3 conventions this since ecchiexpo. There was actually more, but we're only going to worry about 3. I should have probably contacted SJ to come on the show and talk about the trading card game, whatever.
yeah. So there was a trading card game, TCG Con, which was a trading card game con that happened in downtown, the George R. Brown Convention Center. There was Waifu Fest that happened a few weeks ago during New Year's at what's the hotel? Is it Holiday Inn, right? Or no, Hilton
It was a DoubleTree.
or DoubleTree. Okay, the DoubleTree Hotel near the Hobby Airport, and then there was Ikkicon this past weekend that took place at the Kalahari Resorts in Round Rock, Texas. Basically, the same venue as Colossal.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk
Betraying
about.
a
And we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the existing trend that seems to be a big thing nowadays, and I think it's going to be a much more of a problem than a benefactor. But that's for later on in the show. So we're going to talk about. Let's talk about Waifu Fest to kick things off with the con review. Waifu Fest. Do y'all consider that a 2022 con or a 2023 con?
Both.
Yes.
I mean, to me personally, technically for me, it was 2023 because I actually went on the last day.
You know what? It's a 2022 con because
Yeah.
it ended. Saturday was. I would have counted it 2023 if it was Friday night and then Saturday was 2023. But Friday and Saturday were 2022 and then Sunday was 2023. And Sunday doesn't really matter.
Yeah. No worries.
So we're gonna call it a 2022 con. So Waifu Fest was. I liked it. I had fun. Then again, like we were all hanging out and like bullshitting around in the room, bullshitting with friends. It was definitely a very small convention. I don't know if you guys know his All Might cosplay was there. I don't want to say his actual name. He was there. He was one of the guests. I kind of saw like I met this guy who was dressed like the Pope, but he was like the Pope of like booty or thighs or whatever the thigh Bible.
Mhm.
It was like
Bible.
it's kind of hard to. I added him on fucking Instagram so I can invite him on the show, but he created like a thigh Bible, like it's just our booty Bible. It's literally a Bible about smut. And I got to check it out, and I thought it was pretty funny and interesting. So I invited him on the show. I got his Instagram. I got to message him. Uh, I mean, it was very small con. It's not like one of the. It's definitely way smaller. It was definitely way smaller than Delta was,
Mhm.
but it was fun for like for what we did, and
Mhm.
it was
Especially because
cool.
it's New Year's and also it's first year. Obviously it's flawed, but it's
Right.
always
Plus,
room
there
for
was like a
improvement.
lot of people like bad mouthing it, and
Yeah, and I'm
I
like,
think that
guys,
hurt it a little.
yeah, it's like it's his first con. I mean, cut it some slack.
Right. So we didn't get to talk about this. So Sunday, it's Sunday. I wake up for my panel. I'm supposed to be talking about Pokemon. Instead, we're all just sitting there talking about fucking professional wrestling. And the night before, SJ showed up, and like some dude started recording her feet without her consent. And I
Oh,
found out after the fact. I'm like, who? I'm like, wait, what? Like, there was a group of us out in the balcony. Like, dude, he started recording her feet. I thought it was weird because he had his camera like this. He was sitting on the floor while she was sitting in the chair,
what the fuck?
and she had open toe sandals on, and he was recording her feet. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I was asking people like, who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck? And like nobody knew who he was. Kind of just showed up, and it was just like I even told SJ, and she's like, who the fuck? And then she's like, I could have charged him. I'm like, yeah, well,
Like, hey, that ain't free. You gotta pay for that.
that right, exactly. And it was definitely interesting. Karaoke was fun for the small crowd that we did get. The con was very cheap. It was free on Sunday, but
Hmm.
like the highlight of the whole weekend, it was Sunday when we were sitting down talking. Drip Jesus shows up because I recognize his ass anywhere, and like one of the they shut down one of the rooms because they had like at this hotel they have like a Sunday service mass there.
Hmm. Like a church.
Yeah, it's a church, and so Drip Jesus shows up, and so the fucking con staff pulls a Jesse, me, and they tell this grown ass man dressed like Jesus to go into the damn chapel, to go in there and like just walk in the fucking service. So like all of us just run over there to like watch him go in there. They open the door and they lit him in, and people he described it to us what was going on. As soon as he walked in, people were like turning around. Some people smiled, some people laughed, some people were pissed. And then when he walks out, he leads them out of the room. We're like, oh, he leads them out. Not one fucking person asked for this grown ass man. As a matter of fact, some people came out of that room pissed. Damn weebs, fucking weebs. But like 50% of that room went into the con's dealer's room, and the dealer's room Sunday was packed because the church went in there, like because they had a lot of kids,
Yeah.
and they even had some adults who were like anime fans. So they're like, oh shit, let's go in there and buy. Let's go and see what they got. Because honestly, the dealer's room for any convention, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, and I'll always say this and I'll always stand by it. The dealer's room for a convention is just a glorified flea market.
Yeah. That's accurate. It's like those
But
flea market slash swap meets.
mhm. So it's one of those things like you have to have like if I showed you the video, it'd be funnier. It's kind of hard to describe, but yeah, Jesus crashing the the church service was kind of funny. I know as a
It
Christian, I'm probably gonna go to hell.
it was on TikTok too. Someone posted it on TikTok.
Oh yeah, everybody was posting it on Instagram, TikTok. It was great. It was awesome. I forgot about the TikTok thing, so they filmed it for TikTok. It was great. But I mean, I liked it. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, and which is I know people are like, oh, that's a pretty good score for us.
Yeah, it's actually not bad. That's like we said, it's obviously it's flawed, it's small, but it's their first one, so we'll just let it slide.
There
Um,
is a running joke now that I'm going to share with everybody. It's called Code 109. So there was a room party in 109, and it was all dudes.
yeah.
They were trying to like get laid, and there was one, and I found out that there was one girl in that room, and they were all hovering over her, and to the point where they had to leave. I'm like, wait, there was a girl in there? Like who? And they're like, and it turns out it was SJ.
Oh,
SJ was the one girl in the room, and they were hovering all over her. We found this out because they told me. It was awesome. It was great. So now, whenever we talk about thirsty or disasters or 109, code 109, we have code 109, code 109. 7 guys hovering over one girl. They're trying to treat it like the cop, like the lady cop. They're trying to lady cop her.
the coppa.
Where's she from? Tennessee or some shit like that? The chick that like had sex with the entire
Oh, you mean the cop
police
thing? That
department?
that was like
Lady cop.
everyone's. I think from
I'm gonna be honest
Tennessee.
with you, dude. I kept seeing her stupid pictures, and I had no idea what the hell was going on until I looked it
Yeah,
up.
same. I don't know. I'm like, has anyone explained the context for me? And I've been
And
asking
I
for
was like,
days.
what the fuck is going on? Like, why is she so popular? What happened to Waffle House Betty or whatever her name was?
Yeah, the one who went ultra that parried the fucking chair.
She went Ultra Instinct. She got fired, by the way, dude.
Yeah, she
Well,
got
if you watch
now
the
they got
video, she threw a coffee pot at somebody before they threw the chair.
That's not the point though. She like she kung
Yeah,
fu'd that chair.
that was very nice, but she deserved to get fired. She threw a coffee pot at somebody.
She's gonna be rich now. All she has to do is start an OnlyFans where she's just pairing chairs. She didn't even have to get naked, just pairing chairs. I would pay $10 to see her just like whoosh, whoosh, just pairing chairs.
I would too.
That was fucking cool. I liked it. I saw that video and she just like they threw it and she went whoosh. She John Wick that fucking chair.
Oh shit!
No, she kind of went ultra instinct on it.
She did. She went all like fucking Shifu from Kung Fu. She went all Kung Fu Panda on it.
Yeah.
There are no accidents.
Hey, my boy Ken's here. What's up, waifu feet finder 60? Oh, that was so horrible. I look forward to. I hope Waifu Fest has another year. I look forward to. I would like to go back and do more. We got to hang out with where the waifu at. They're a really great group. I really like them. Jace, just breathe. Keep your inner dialogue secret. All right, so now let's talk about Ikkicon, the first convention that we give a shit about for 2023.
All right, so I was there this past weekend. It was at a new venue. So I just want to give my thought. First of all, I want to thank the staff over at Ikkicon for being well organized. Despite some issues, unfortunately, they had some technical issues in the beginning on around Thursday, Friday. A lot of people were trying to get their badges. Unfortunately, the servers got like overclocked and it kind of messed up a bit, so they had to like shut down for a bit and then come back up. So the general consensus I had in regards to Ikkicon, I felt that this was, and also based on what I've heard from other people who actually went to the previous one that was in downtown Austin, they said that the venue makes it a massive improvement to the convention. I will say that as someone who went to both Colossal Con and Ikkicon, in terms of use of the venue, I will say that Ikkicon used the venue of the convention side a lot more than Colossal did. However, in terms of like the rest of it, I feel like they could have used more Ikkicon. So I'll give an example. So I felt that that they could have used like the water park more. I know they could. I know it's something probably beyond their control. It's like something Colossal may have like exclusive rights to or something like that. For example, like Colossal had this thing on Saturday night where you basically for like you pay like a fee and you get to it's like a rave but at the water park. So basically imagine going to a water park at 1:30 or 2:30 in the morning. Meanwhile, Ikki didn't really do that much, but they did have a rave and they did have a dance at the regular convention center. Um, I will say though, I did like how they were more. They like I said, they used more of the venue than Colossal did. They used all of the panel rooms. They used the exhibit hall. They used the dealer. They had a meetup room dedicated just meetups. Um, I attended some of the panels. A lot of the panels were really good. I did like a huge shout out to Zero to Heroes. They got a massive shout out during the closing ceremonies because one of the hosts, the MC of the closing ceremonies, brought up that he went to the panel of the Hill You'll Die On, which was run by Zero to Heroes, and he praised it. You know, he said that hoping they get to come back here. And I talked to a lot of attendees and cosplayers. They said that the Kalahari is
Can
great.
can I just say something real quick about that? So I just found this out.
Mhm.
They stole that fucking idea. So so we host a panel called Making Your Own Panel 101. And I was supposed to host it, but I was hungover and I was feeling really sick. I think it was more sick than hungover because uh, I stayed up until 5 or 6 in the morning babysitting once again. And so they went and ran the panel for me. And then some like the whole point of the panel is to ask people their ideas and help them out and help them figure out how they can do their panel and make their panel and whatsoever. So somebody else came up with the idea for the panel and they liked it so much they ran with their idea. And we kind of stole their idea too. Like I was there for ecchiexpo when they did that panel, and I kind of hijacked the panel from them a little. And so like we are now doing that version of their we're doing a version of their panel while they already stole that idea from another panelist that was at one of our panels. So somebody's probably going to be really pissed.
It's just creative thievery. That's all it is.
Creative thievery, that's good. I like that. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to share that Sonic real quick. I thought it was a very funny story, and I found that out during Waifu Fest.
Yeah. No. But yeah, some of the panels were actually really cool. Deacon Rap was there. He actually hosted a rap panel on Saturday night. He did a great job with it. I heard a lot of good, positive reviews from other people about it. So massive shout out to Deacon Rap. Oh, let's see. Nothing like hijacking a panel. Hey, Goku.
Yeah.
Shout out to Blastoise.
Hoku.
Goku.
I mean, like, actually, we've had some of our panels are actually original because no one else has. I've never seen anyone else do the versus panels.
Mm-mm.
And if they have, like, they don't do it the way we do it, at least not the way I've seen. Like,
Yeah.
and that's the thing though. I don't care if people steal my panels. Like, you can steal my panels all you want, but at the end of the day, there's when I realized this years ago, I realized, and it became more apparent to me that when I at ecchiexpo when I walked into Zero to Heroes, a hill you would die on, I literally like like the little speaker that they have, which by the way I really like, and it's pretty expensive, but I was messing with it because I know how to work with audio equipment.
Yeah.
And then I kind of took the mic, and me and Chandler were like co-hosting it, while the other guys, like the guys that run Zero to Heroes, they're more of the background people, where Chandler's the host. So I started co-hosting with Chandler, and it was to the point to where people thought that it was my panel. That's how involved I got with their panel.
Mm-hmm.
and like I get told this all the time, like if I'm hosting a panel at a con, people will legitimately go to that con just to see my panels. I know that one of our least popular panels, which does pretty well, but not all the time, is the fan fiction one.
Mhm.
That one is kind of like it's fan fiction, so it's whatever.
Like anybody
What's
can
up,
do it at
Ryan?
that point. Yeah.
What's up, Blastoids? By the way, we didn't say hi to Blastoids. But like, and that's the thing I talk about in the making your own panel. Uh, you gotta have you have to be charismatic, right, in your panel, because I've seen some panels where I'm gonna be honest with you. I've hosted panels where I don't know shit. Like My Little Pony versus we did My Little Pony versus I think Hitalia. This was years ago though.
Or Homestuck or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was Homestuck. It was Homestuck versus My Little Pony, and I had no fucking clue about either one. All I knew is that My Little Pony was a bunch of horses and friendship, and Homestuck was like some dude stuck at home or something about cake. I don't know. Uh, oh, so a question for you, Sonic. I heard that Ikkicon was more convention than water park. Sonic, can you confirm?
Yes, I can confirm that it is pretty much like that. It's like ironically, Colossal was more water park than convention. Ikkicon was like vice versa. Um, I will say, like I said, it was kind of noticeable because when we got into the water park, normally during Colossal they would close later, but in this case, it was actually closing like earlier. So I'm like, oh man, I'm so used to like coming here like around like 8:30, 9 o'clock. No, it closed at 9, and that was it. Um, yeah, Ikkicon was more convention than water park Blastoise. I will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
The comments. I once had an audience member come up and host a panel because I haven't finished the new season of the show yet. Real professional here.
I agree with the no more original ideas. I don't. Well, I agree with the like 90%. I think there's still some original panels that are interesting. Uh, like definitely, like I said, the anime versus one. That's not really like. I don't know if that's original or not. At least when we started doing it, it was like the way we did. So I know that one is kind of original because when we started submitting it to the cons had no idea as to how the panel would work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told them, okay, so audience members will be able to come up to an open mic panel. It's an open mic trash talking comedy panel. So the audience will come up here and they'll just talk shit, and they're like, "Wait, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah, you have
what do
to
you mean that
explain it
they're?"
to them.
I had to like because I submitted it and then I had to explain it how it worked,
Mm-hmm. So it's
and
kind of
then
like
they're like, "Wait, how does
pitching.
that work?" Because people when they think like when you think panel, you're just gonna go and sit down and someone's gonna talk for like an hour
Yeah.
or do a presentation. I fucking hate presentations. I guess mine is more comedy, stand-up comedy, where I do a lot of stand-up comedy. I'm not like the guy that was at Ikkicon that does the stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've listened to his shit, and it's kind of funny, but I've heard funnier. Um, I don't like Zeros to Heroes. I haven't been on their podcast in a while now. It's been months, and I think pretty much like as far as like panels goes, though, I'm actually trying to come up with new original panels. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of a panel. Like even if the concept itself is not original, I'm trying to come up with a brand new way to present it. Like if you notice, a lot of our panels that are just generic panels do not have generic names. Like the Dragon Ball panel is not called a Dragon Ball panel. Well, it's called It's Over 9,000, a Dragon Ball panel.
Mm-hmm.
Or like
Something interesting, you know. Yeah.
like Ninja Turtles, it was called Shell Shocked, a
Or some
TMNT panel.
like an example like Sonic the Hedgehog. Got to go fast. The Sonic the Hedgehog panel. Like that's something
Like
unique.
Pokemon was like is Pokemon like well for Pokemon we called it is Pokemon a mistake.
And then here in the comment section, Star Trek versus Star Wars was massively popular in the 80s. Yeah, that would have been like a big panel like at a con in the 80s. I'm
So we're
sure
thinking
people
about
have been.
stealing an idea. I don't know if you ever heard of the show Jace or Sonic. It's called Wild and Out.
Oh yeah, Wallet. Yeah.
They do Ghetto Jeopardy. We're thinking about doing something very similar, but with anime.
Hmm.
It's very funny because uh,
Just call it
it's
waifu
like
and
one of
out.
the categories is like name things that white people have ruined, and one of them goes up to pushes the buzzer. What is planet Earth? It's fucking great. You have to watch it.
Just call it waifu and out.
hmm I was thinking about doing like a Mario Party panel, but I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm still
Yeah.
trying to figure out. We want to do the Dino Rumble event, where it's just us in like inflatable costumes beating the shit out of each other with weapons. I know Jim Cornette would shit a chicken because that sounds like an outlaw mud show.
What shit a chicken.
But with panels goes, it's just you have to be entertaining, and like
Yeah.
half of the time, like especially with Chandler and Zero's Heroes, there Chandler's very entertaining. Chandler is possibly one of the people that does give me a run for my money when it comes to that like attention,
To
uh,
deep like to.
like getting people's attention when it comes to a panel.
Mhm.
Because I can guarantee you, like people don't like people just some people just come to my panels just to hear me talk shit. Because I will talk shit to the audience. I don't care. But it's entertaining. People like it. Some people don't. I understand that, but like I am going to cater to the masses than the few.
Mhm.
So I mean, overall though, okay. So what else did you like about Ikkicon? So they had a great list of panels. How was the uh how was the dealers room? How did that go?
Okay, so the dealers, the way they did it was it's one side is vendors.
Oh,
The
they did that shit.
Okay, so this is the way they did it. So it's actually a huge hall. So they actually got to do. So from my perspective, right here on the left, there would be the voice actors, the guests, the cosplay guests. On the middle, it would be the artists, and on the right side, it'd be the vendors. And then in the corner behind the guests and the voice actors, guests, and all that stuff, they have the arcade, the little gaming room, and luckily it's in a separate room. And that's pretty much how they did it. And the way this it was set up, it was actually really the hall was very open enough for them to actually you actually had a lot of space to move around. Unlike that one con where they decided to do the dealers in the front and in the back they do the artists. Um, I thought it was a good layout. Um, I will say also they did have some on the outside of the dealers. They actually had like as you walk through the halls, you see like little photo booths, like a little banners so like people take photos and all that. And actually there was a photographer actually providing free photos for cosplayers, take photos behind like a screen. Um, they also had a tabletop room, like a little further down. They actually had a meetup room, which is like for people that have like their cosplay meetups, their fandom meetups, like One Piece, Demon Slayer, Genshin Impact, because Genshin Impact was like the big one. Um, and like I said earlier, I think Ikkicon used a lot of the convention center here. I think this is something that I think that's something Colossal should be doing. They should use more of the the convention side rather than not just the water. I get it, the water park's the big draw, but they should use more of the convention side.
I thought the
Uh,
water park would have been closed though. Was it closed?
no, no, it wasn't closed. It was just regular hours. But like Colossal, like I said earlier, Colossal had like an ability. Like for example, on Saturday night they would have a rave at the water park, but unfortunately, for Icky this past weekend they didn't do that. They had a regular rave,
Oh
like in
right,
most
it was
cons.
this past weekend. I keep thinking. Sorry for interrupt, but I keep thinking that Ikkicon was during New Year's when it was colder. That's why I thought it wasn't it closed. Wasn't it closed?
Nah, luckily it's an indoor water park, so it doesn't really. But the outdoor parts, like the outdoor pools and the slides and all that was closed.
You have
Um,
a question by the way.
yeah, no worries. The artist alley. I actually went through the artist alley. I did not see any AI art, and luckily I did talk to some of the artists. They said, yeah, there's no AI is like a big no in this convention. I'm like, I'm glad too because I think AI art is pretty stupid to sell at
What
a
is
con.
AI art? Like
Basically generated art. You know
By
what I
the
mean?
computer?
Yeah, basically.
So if you go and type in like
Like for example,
Goku, Sailor Moon, Epic Battle, that kind of thing, it'll generate an image using every type of reference it has access to make a really good version of that.
Oh,
kind of,
that's stupid.
but
Okay.
sometimes they could be
But
flaws.
sometimes it's
Like
shitty. Like
yeah,
it can't AI can't do hands apparently very well.
yeah, sometimes you'll end up with like 7 fingers instead of like
Oh, wow.
Hands are hard
Okay.
for people.
yeah. And in the comments, it's not on New Year's anymore like it was when we were young con kids.
Fuck you. It was on New
Back,
Year's last year. Wait.
back in my day.
Wasn't it like
Yeah, it
during?
was. Oh, I had to think about that one for a second.
Wasn't it during like Memorial's Day weekend one time?
It
Like
was
a few
okay.
years
So
ago.
Jeez,
in
got you real far.
2021,
Yeah,
it was in May, and then like 7 months later, it was
they did
during New
another one.
Year's.
Yeah, they did another one.
Ikkicon round 2.
Ikkicon, because you didn't get enough.
We need
Come and
more
see
money.
Ikkicon, come spend your money here. Uh, so okay, parking. What was that like?
Uh, Parking wasn't really an issue. That was just it's the
Was it free?
Kalahari, so there's like a shit ton of parking. And by the time it was like we were there was like really open parking, so you could just walk in and all like you could just park there, no issues.
All right. So cons of the con.
All right, cons of the con. I will say, like I mentioned before, uh with they had technical issues early on. Unfortunately, that kind of affected a lot of people, not just the registrations, but also the panelists to check in, also press. In fact, that we were kind of affected. I explained to them, hey, I just want to know if we got approved for press. I just wanted to ask them. I was like, okay, no problem. Did you email us? I'm like, yeah, I did. And it's like, okay, well, it turns out our servers were kind of messed. So obviously, it's a little technical issues. It's not it's something they could deal with later on. Um, I will say in regards to panels, while some of them are cool, I just think that depending on who you talk to, it could. I feel like the size of some of these panels were a little too big. So, for example, there's like this huge one of the panel rooms is like really a huge hall, but when you go inside the panel, you see that there's only like normally it would fill up like 30, 35 people at a panel, right? But for these halls, it just looks like 10 people. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's too
Yeah,
big. Yeah.
it was too big. Oh, to go back to your earlier statement, did you get the press badges?
Yes, I did. So I did. Luckily, I talked to the one of the vice heads, the big one of the main. I think he's a vice president, I believe, and luckily he knew us. So luckily he was able to help me out. I told him, if we don't get a press, I mean that's okay. I understand. I totally understand. I don't want to sound like an entitled a hole. You know what I mean? So luckily he knew us, so he was like, okay, sure, no problem. You guys are cool with us. We know you guys and all that, and they did provide us with a press pass. They were really cool with us. They were calm with all the press people, all the exhibitors. A couple of exhibitors I knew had no issues. They said, oh no, they took care of us really good. Uh, Obviously it's depending on who you talk to, because maybe some people had some issues and all that.
Right, and I think I know who you're talking about. Um, we have a really good. We didn't at
Relationship.
first, but we have a really good relationship with some of the people that work for the con. One of their old events directors didn't like us, didn't like our style of panel. She didn't like any of our panels
Mhm.
because they weren't Ask a Cosplayer, or they weren't My Little Pony, they weren't like sexually frustrated teenager panels.
Yeah.
So, needless to say that she gave us a bad rep in the con when we submitted panels for the following year. Like they gave us, okay, we're gonna approve two of their panels and we're gonna watch them closely, and then they watched us and they monitor us, and yeah, we are like yeah, okay. So here's the thing, I am extra and crazy, but during the panels, they're done. They're on time. They end on time. They're professional. We run them for the full amount.
Mhm.
We don't complain. We don't ask for anything. The people are entertained. The people are happy. People talk shit about the decisions I make all the time. But at the end of the day, when it actually comes to professionalism, we do what we're asked to do. So,
Mhm.
taking shots at one of the cons. uh, no, but I'm glad I'm glad that worked out in the end. Because I was wondering about that. Because for those of you that don't know, Sonic usually does go to the cons that I either cannot go to or don't want to go to.
Yeah.
It's 50-50. But I was wondering about that. But I mean, all right. So going back to the cons of the con.
All right, cons of the con. I feel like unless you were unless you go to like the room parties or something like that, you're like those kind of people like, they go drink alcohol, have a good time with other people. The nighttime there isn't really much to do per se. Um my bad. Because a lot of people, during when the end of a con, like the end of like the dealers shut down for the day and all that stuff, you often see uh people want to go out and do something out there, but sometimes, if you're not alcoholic or you're not like a party goer and all that, you might find something like not really entertaining and all that. I feel like there weren't that enough panels that should have had something to accommodate those people. I feel like they could have used more work on that. And also, I attended the closing ceremony, and the MC was great. The MC was one of the guests. He was
Who was the
very.
MC?
I'm trying to remember his name. I feel terrible that I don't remember his name. Let me
Was he
look
look
it
like
up.
white guy?
No, he was a African American. He was a comedian, a stand-up
Oh, I know
comedian.
who you're talking about. Yeah.
And he looks like Coach from Left 4 Dead, which is funny
Yeah, I
because
know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, that's
he
the comedian that I was talking about. So
yeah.
it kind of makes sense now that he gave a shout out to Zeros to Heroes because
Mhm.
he's actually buddies with all of them.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, it is what it is. He's cool. I like him. He's a great guy. I'm not a fan of his stand up. Like I said, is funny. I'm just not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, no nightlife at a con station at a resort. Unless you're at, like I said, unless you have a house, because there was a lot of house room
That's because
parties.
Geeks 5 Ever wasn't there, man. We are the nightlife.
Well, we don't want to toot our horns.
Overall rating, because we're very
Okay.
short on time. We started late today.
Yeah. So rating. Um, Let me give a short and sweet before I give my rating. I will say like a small conclusion. I will say that based on other people's perspective, because I wasn't at the previous Ikki, a lot of people have said that the Kalahari is a massive improvement. It actually kind of gave more life to the convention, to Ikkicon. And what people don't know, it will be back same time and same venue next year in 2024. They're probably, I heard they will be at the Kalahari for like 2-3 more years, so they'll be here for a while. Um, but for me personally, my overall experience, I had a great time. I enjoyed Ikki. I enjoyed Ikkicon pre-pandemic in 19. That was the last one I went to. Um, I will say that I enjoyed it. If you had a chance to go, if you've never been to like the Kalahari for Colossal, there's a chance you can go for Ikkicon. So plenty of options for anybody out there who wants to go to the Kalahari. People want to know what's the appeal, what's the hype all about. But overall, I give it like a 7.5, 8 out of
Um,
10.
oh, the first. That's probably one of the highest ratings for the year.
Generous.
It was pretty generous. They fluffed Sonic before he came on the show. Yeah, make sure you give us that good rating, guy.
Yeah, but like I said, it's still good. I know a lot of people kind of miss the old venue when it was at the Renaissance. But I felt like this change of scenery kind of helped Ikkicon. Especially after a lot of people said that about the downtown Marriott, how much of a disaster that place was. um, but I think it's really nice. I think the change of scenery helped this con. It's flawed, obviously, but there's still a lot of work to be done. But if they keep up with all the feedback they receive from this year, and make use more of the resort, I think that it'll probably go up from here. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Ikkicon. You know, obviously a lot of people have different reaction perspectives and all that, but as someone who went there, not just as press, obviously, but as a con goer itself, I had a great time.
All right. Well, our first 7.5 out of 10. I almost said 7 out of 5. Ah, 7.5
Wow.
out of 10. Let me add that real quick so I can at least have a record. Fuck. I was not prepared. I should have gotten. There we go.
So
There you are.
there you go. In the comments, says for Colossal, I get valet every year. Not really worth it, but I like to feel a little boogie. Yeah,
Bougie.
Bougie.
Okay,
Bougie.
bougie.
Boogie.
Boogie. I'm
Boogie.
sorry. Boogie. Nah, it's not really for Icky. It wasn't really worth getting valet. You could just park and it's easy walking distance.
So next week, I want to talk about this today, but I guess we're going to save it for next week.
Okay.
There are a lot of new conventions that are showing up in the market, and we've been talking about this on their Discord. But I think we're about to go through a crash in the next year or two of conventions. So we're going to talk about that next week. Just quick, just to let everybody know that next week. So we've been doing the podcast live streamed every week, at least when we can. That next week will be our last live stream, a regular live stream. We're going to take the show into the pre-recorded. We're going to start pre-recording the show, and we're going to release it in clips. Because like fucking YouTube changed the way that the fucking channel's laid out. So people like I invited somebody on the show, and she was being like a fucking bitch about it, asking me 20 questions, and I directed her to the channel, and she's like, "Why the fuck did you message me? I see you haven't updated the channel in like 2 years." Like, what? No, we just had a podcast like 3 weeks ago. What the fuck are you
It's
talking about?
because so people who don't know, they put all of our live streams in a separate tab and they put like live, and I'm like, why would you do that? Normally you would just put them all at once, you know?
Right. It completely hurt us. It's hurting the channel, so we're gonna have to. We are still gonna do live streams every now and then, but think of it like a like a WWE event, like a premium live event.
A special edition.
Yep. So it's probably gonna be like a monthly, bi-monthly thing. We don't know yet. We're still gonna figure it out. But next week on Monday, it's definitely gonna be the last live stream that we do for a while at least, so we can start pre-recording. Because and this will be a lot easier for me, Jason, Sonic. Like we can record like longer. We can actually record more and split it up into clips and release them instead of doing because it's kind of hard to just sit here for 2 hours and just talk about shit, especially with you guys. You guys come and go. You know, some people just come on after the show, and it's kind of hard for everyone to sit down and watch 2 hours anyway. So if we divide the show up into clips, and then we'll release like the whole show as well. On Mondays we'll do the whole show, but like leading up to that we'll have like clips like here and there, and we'll even do like if something happens like what happened with Dre Briscoe or with you know other people, we can do like recordings that day and just release it that same day. So we're definitely, yeah, I could make another playlist, but a lot of things have been going on, and there's a reason why I haven't been as active on Facebook. My last post was like 10 days ago, I think, maybe less, but I don't know. I haven't been as active. Things have been going on, family. That's why I kind of want to go into the pre-recorded. Plus, we're gonna get more involved with the cons anyway. I've been talking about doing the TikTok channel. I'm definitely going to start the TikTok channel this month or next month, and we're going to do more cons. I know with Sonic. Sonic's been doing a great job of going to the cons and like snooping around and getting us, you know, the insider scoop. He's going in. All he needs is like one of those old timey reporter fedoras, the little piece of paper that says press on it sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Jace is like doing his D&D stuff. Adjacent with Jace. Oh,
Here.
What happened?
Nothing.
What were you gonna say?
It's right here. I have the label for it.
Oh fuck! That was part of the picture. I didn't even see that. So damn small.
I'm here to support you. I'm doing my own stuff.
Yeah, that's
so.
what we're gonna do. Pretty much what Ken said. We're gonna do lives for. We might not even do lives. We might just do recorded videos, but we definitely want to do lives. We still want to do lives. I am gonna start doing daily lives though on Instagram.
Hmm.
That was kind of fun. It was kind of fun to have people come on there and talk.
Yeah, it's really. I saw one you did of recently. It's actually really interesting.
I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
I was like I said, a lot has been going on, and I just wanted to go on live and just talk for a bit. All right, guys. But with that being said, make sure you subscribe to Keyblade Sonic's YouTube channel. He is the Texas Gaming Hedgehog, the one that he's got to go fast to the cons and get the hell out of there fast too. And then don't forget a Jason with Jace, where he plays with this D and D. I don't know how that works.
Dungeons and or Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
We're all inclusive.
When does your channel go live?
Every
Wednesdays, right?
Tuesday.
What the fuck did I think you went live on Wednesdays for?
We don't do anything on Wednesday. You just don't know.
Shit.
We stream every Tuesday. So dropping
What we'll
links.
probably do is we'll probably start pre-recording on like a day you're not busy, so we can release on Monday.
I have a busy life, but I make time for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
With
that being said, guys, thank you for joining us today. We'll be back on Monday with a supercast. We're gonna see if we can get the. We're definitely gonna invite SJ back. SJ's gonna be coming back.
We wanna bring some other people's back. So yeah, like Goku said, we're gonna talk about this huge ballooning of a bunch of cons happening, like clashing with each other per se, and how it
This
also
isn't the first time that this has happened where we've had a convention
overlap.
At one
the other
point, we've had conventions once every 3 weeks, but this is getting out of hand. Like, there's way too many.
Yeah.
Drop them links in the comment section, guys.
Yeah, drop them links.
And I'm going to start a second YouTube channel. I'm on another podcast, which is starting its new season this Sunday. I'll drop a link for that in the Facebook and Instagram, so you guys can come check it out. No, it's pre-recorded; it's not live, so I can't. I'll drop a link when it goes live.
Just have to edit it like a normal person.
Also, I'm doing a fan fiction one. That one's definitely going to be pre-recorded because I can't sit on my ass on this gaming chair anymore. The seat is flat. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I am Jesse Goku. Make sure you haven't already. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and the Corn Hub. The Corn Hub. We're on the Corn Hub.
Corn Hub.
The Corn Hub. The corn on a cob.
Corn on the Cob Hub.
Everything's on the cob.
And check out our TikTok. I'll post it's TikTok at it's TikTok/Geeks5, right?
Should be.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
We
like
should
too many
collaborate
different
sometimes for
features.
YouTube. Yes, we are open for that. So if you'd like to collaborate with us, leave us a message or leave us a comment, and we'll see what we can do from there.
Yes.
And that's always a goal. You know, we would love to work with other, cosplayers, panelists, YouTubers, other stuff. We just want to do that. You know, obviously the end goal is to like unite and help each other out. Support each other.
Unless you're Captain Potassium, who makes parodies of AVGN and says words like asinine and poop.
You finally said the name.
What? You were waiting for me to say Captain Potassium?
Yeah, you didn't say it in the initial part.
Dude, he's about to. Okay, I'll tell you after. The show's over. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. I gotta go pick up my brother from the gym. Bye.
All right. Take care, guys. See y'all next time.
Goodbye.